Hey pack leaders, this is Hien, Friends of Irony, protecting families by protecting the pack. We're going to do a video review here on the HumbledTrader. I've been following her for a while, and she posted a video saying how much money do day traders actually make. And I think that it's definitely a possible way to make a living. It does require some skill and some insight on what's going on, and you just kind of follow those patterns of the systems, and you could probably do that, and we have proof because she's living proof right there. So let's go ahead and watch some of her videos and see what she takes, and put my insight into it.
Make money day trading, and how much money do day traders make? If you're new to trading or just been contemplating on getting into day trading, you must have wondered, can you really make money from this career? This seems like gambling. Is day trading real or just a scam? We see many people on social media posting big profits and very rarely any losses. All of these seems extremely surreal, maybe sometimes overly glorified but risky at the same time. And that's why people with their newly received stimulus checks are pouring them into the markets, signed up for Robinhood, and ready to turn that $1,000 into $1 million in 6 months.
It definitely, when you get those losses, it is definitely hard to post them. You kind of like, hey, I want to hunker down today, and let's get to the next day, and then we'll post the good stuff, right? And it is true, like, once you post big numbers and people start to notice, you're like, oh man. And I do notice, like, yeah, I am getting more sales and signups and stuff like that. But I do have bad days after they sign up. It does happen. And this is all part of that. So it is what works in a sense, but it's kind of what people want. But at the same time, I want to be transparent, so that you don't come in like, oh, I saw you made this, but then I came in and didn't make it, and like, oh, what happened? All right. So as people follow me on my gains and my losses and see how consistently it becomes, then they kind of jump in when it seems a little more consistent, all right? And they'll probably jump in at a better time, and also probably at a higher cost too. So let's go ahead and take a look what it has.
This video, we're going to be talking about the topic of day trading profits and losses, known as P&Ls. Specifically, why seeing regular P&Ls and posting them could be a positive or a negative thing. And finally, we're going to be answering the question of, do I really make money day trading? I'm also going to be sharing some personal stories from my 6 years, now going into 7 years of day trading journey. So let's get comfortable, sit back, get your popcorn ready, and make sure no one is touching the trading account. And most importantly, remember to destroy that like button. First of all, let's answer the number one question most people have regarding day trading. Is this career real or is it a scam? Is day trading just gambling? The short and sweet answer is, it's a real and very profitable career for only about 5 to 10% of the people. Let's make it really clear. I'm certainly not saying everyone should day trade. No, it's the opposite. I think most people shouldn't day trade because rather than treating it as a serious business and a career, most people are lazy and they treat it as a get-rich-quick scheme like gambling. Like my brother said in my live trading with family video, day trading is a risky career and most people should stay away from it.
Alright, so yeah, day trading is quite risky. I mean, when I first started just manually trading, you don't have the proper disciplines. You use up your entire account trying to save your account, and it just keeps going against you. You end up blowing up the whole thing. And yeah, and as the numbers get a little bigger, you kind of get a little scared, which she's going to probably talk about later on. I'm watching this again with you guys. And it actually requires quite a discipline and skill emotionally and externally, and being able to handle that loss without messing you up, okay? So definitely that's something that you got to build in yourself if you're actually manually doing this.
Now let's talk about wins and losses in day trading. And yes, I did say wins and losses because believe it or not, everyone loses in day trading. It's just that less people are willing to share their losses. I mean, it's the same reason everyone wants to post images with Lamborghinis. Why would anyone want to be seen with a 2003 Corolla? Or
Yeah, definitely. No one wants to show the bad stuff, right? But I think it's just being transparent on YouTube because you see a lot of people just posting on the good stuff like, well, like I haven't seen any of the bad stuff, like, you know, like what's going on behind the scenes, right? You might take $1 million to make 100,000, but then you lost $1 million, and you know, here's my 100K to win, yay! And you're like, wow, I want 100K, and you didn't realize that he lost $1 million trying to, you know, get this 100K gain, right? So you gotta be transparent and kind of see the whole story, like what's the truth, right? And there's so much information out there that's hard to believe now, and you kind of want to see the whole story, the uncut version, the raw video, even though it might take a little longer. You kind of want to see the actual device rather than them doing a cut scene. Oh, did they, like the purple, right? Did they actually drop the egg in there and then they cut scene, put the eggs, nicely place it, and then, you know, oh look, it's fine. You want to see the raw uncut, actually hitting it and then picking the eggs out and smashing it. Like, oh, see there, it's a real egg. So
show up on YouTube videos with barely any makeup, right? Now back to the topic of how much money do day traders make? Well, the answer to that question is it depends. There are traders who make hundreds a day, thousands a day, and even sometimes who make 5, 6, and even 7 figures a day. Now, before you get overly excited, oh my god, you can make that much money day trading? I need to go quit my job now to day trade. Please listen to the full story here first. To make money in day trading, you have to be comfortable with losing first. Losing money in order to make profit is a concept.
yeah, it's very true. You have to be comfortable losing that money, and it kind of frees you in a sense. I think I had a video. I think I'll probably put the link somewhere about V for Vendetta, watching that, how Natalie Portman, towards the end, she was a hostage, and she's like, hey, you don't give me the information, I'm gonna kill you. And she read all these hope stories from the prisoner next door, and eventually it's like, hey, you know what, I'm ready to go, I don't care, you can kill me, it's all good. And V for Vendetta was actually the guy that was taking her hostage and, you know, torturing her through whatever, like waterboarding stuff. But then she couldn't see his face. Eventually, she realized, when she said that, he said to her, you're free to go. You freed yourself, you're free to go, kind of thing. And it's kind of the same way where once you don't have that attachment to that anymore, where you can lose that money and not have it affect you, you're kind of free. You're no longer enslaved to that dollar, in a sense. So it's kind of a free experience where it's like, hey, it's just printed out of thin air. Huh? Don't print more. It's okay. but of course, if you're earning it time for $1, you feel attached because you put a whole day into this, 8 hours just to pull in $200. You know, like, ooh, that's a lot. You can make 1,000, right? But you know, you can make that in a few days, or even less with trading, right?
That's very unique to this day trading business. Day trading is probably the only job where you can show up at your office computer and work very hard and give it all, and at the end of the day, after 8 hours, you actually lose money. I remember when I used to have a conventional 9-to-5 job. 9 to 5, who am I kidding? It's more like a 9 to 7 job. But whether I did a good job at the office or slacked off playing ping pong all day, I'm guaranteed a paycheck at the end of the day. I'm never at the risk of losing money, just the risk of losing my soul.
Yeah, I think we live in a world now with the game is risk. You know, the less risk you take, the less you're gonna make. And the more risk you take, the more money you're gonna make. It seems like, because it just feels like it's a game of risk. And so, you know, yeah, whatever you put in, you're gonna have to pull more than what you can provide, you know, in terms of income to your employer in order for them to pay you. Otherwise, you're gone, right? You basically are paying yourself. All right, let's move on.
When you see people post profit screenshots on social media, it's important to know that while both you and I may want the same profits, we probably don't have the same kind of risk tolerance. It takes money to make money in this business. Day trading is a career that requires you to leverage your capital, risk losing it in order to come out ahead. To make that first $100, you may have to risk $20 to $50. To make those thousands, you may have to risk $500. And to make that 5 figures of $10,000, you might have to risk $4,000 to $5,000.
Yes, it's very true. The amount of risk that you have, you gotta have that pain tolerance, because every time you enter on a limit order, it goes down against you to fill, and as soon as it fills your order, it goes down a little further in order to fill more orders. And once that happens, you're like, and then, at first you're like, it's just $10, right? But then that's on like a $100 account. And then all of a sudden, like, you're like $1,000, and you're like, oh man, that's $100. Or then you become $10,000 account, and you're like, oh man, that's $1,000. That's just to fill your account, and then kind of go past about 10%, or maybe, I don't know, if you didn't fill properly on the rung. And watching that, you're like, that's $1,000, right? Just entering, and you're like, I'm scared, and you close it out, and boom, $1,000, you're gone, right? And that's on a $10,000 account. Now imagine a $100,000 account. You go, it fills 10,000. Can you stomach that 10,000 in negative, not giving you a chance yet to come back up? You're like, that's why I just turn off my monitor, don't watch it, let the bot do its thing, and it's the same numbers, but I know as it compounds more and more, I'm gonna be like, because if I built those losses, I lost $100, I lost 1,000. Oh yeah, I've seen that before, 1,000. Or I lost 10,000 before. Oh yeah, it just comes right in 10,000, no problem. It'll come back up to whatever, right? But that's on a bigger account. No, once you start scaling up to the hundreds of millions, they're like, dude, right? You can see whether can you handle that. Can you handle those losses? And that's your development.
And that brings us to the next point. Everyone's wins and losses are all relative in day trading. If you're making just $100 a day consistently, that's amazing. Then one day you have a $500 profit, that's considered a big win relative to your account size and your experience. But for somebody who is using 10 times or 100 times your size and making a couple thousands per day, their big win would maybe be $20,000 or $30,000. And again, at the same time, their small loss might be $2,000, and the big loss will probably be in the 5 figures. The point I'm trying to make is, don't compare your chapter 1 to someone else's chapter 20. Everyone's wins and losses are all relative to their share sizes. If you see someone else's big wins today and decide to double or quadruple your size in order to make the same profits tomorrow, that's probably not going to end so well. This was actually a huge mistake that hits very closely to home over here. Around 3 to 4 years ago, I was already profitable and making consistent gains from day trading. I was on a win streak. Momentum was picking up in my performance in my trading account, and I finally felt like I had figured out myself and all my setups really well. Then I started seeing other traders who are making 2, 3 times, and even sometimes 10 times bigger profits than I am. And many times were trading the same tickers. At first, the effect wasn't clear to me, but if you start seeing them on a daily basis and over a long period of time of weeks or months, it would start to have some psychological effect on you. At least it did on me. So guess what? One day after a very
I just realized my micro's off. So yeah, I was like, yeah, I'll just move on. I forgot what I just said.
Very nice win. I see another traders who've been trading for 20, 30 years post his P&L. That's 10 times bigger than mine on the same ticker. I was like, what the flying fuck? I traded the same stock, the same price action.
I'm smart, I'm a profitable trader. I couldn't make the same profit as him.
But instead, I piked out. I'm a loser here being proud of my $500 when I could have made $10,000 or more. So the next day, I decided to add a 0 to all of my position sizes. And just like I mentioned earlier, to make 1,000, you have to be comfortable risking 500. To make 100,000, you have to be comfortable risking 20 or 50 or even more. While I wanted to make 10 times my daily consistent profit, I wasn't prepared mentally and emotionally to take 10 times the risk. And when you start becoming nervous and sweating over every single red tick on the stock, that leads to some very emotional trading decisions.
Yeah, so I said on the last video, but it was muted. So basically, yeah, like once you start to see, like, hey, you know, once you come down, like, hey, how much can I lose, right? As it fills, you know, is it 10,000 or is it 100 or is it 1,000 that you can kind of stomach, right? You have a $10,000 account. As it comes down, boom, it has a fill negatively, and it fills your account and it goes down and a little bit more. You're like, is it gonna come back up? Is it gonna come back up? I enter so that it can come back up, but now I'm like $10,000 in the hole, right? You're like, oh my gosh, like, but you have 100K, right? So you kind of sit there, but then you probably built up to that 100K so that you can handle it. But now if you're trying to fill the same thing, going all out in your account, you could pretty much clean out your account, right? But another thing is just like just adding an extra 0, going from like, hey, you know what, it came down $100 less, whatever, you know, I have $1,000 in it, no problem, right? $100, and it comes up, and then I'll take profit around, you know, 50, 100, 200, whatever it is, but that's just 10% coming down, you know, and whatever your trading thing is, right? Or it could be just 1%. It could be 1% of 10,000. You're like, oh, that's $100, is it? Oh, $1,000. Yeah, whatever. What math? When you get the point, the math is all relative on what you can handle as it comes down to fill. It's just a number, even though the percentage is the same that you normally see. Hey, look, I've always come in and it's like it comes -5, 10%, and then it comes back out, and then we're like in profit, right? But once that dollar amount gets bigger, because you have a bigger account that you're going in with, you're like, oh, you know, it gets a little scary. Like, hey, dude, this tiny little move down is just a few cents, but it's like $100, $200, $300, $400, $500, and just this. In seconds, $500 in the red as it tries to get into position and then come back out. $500, boom, and $500 out quickly. Can you handle that emotionally? Which is why I've seen on the bot it happen. Like, I actually manually wanted to like go in. I was like, no, don't do it. Turn off the monitor. I know it can do good. It'll be fine, right?
So you probably know where that story is leading to. I ended the day with more than 10 times my normal predetermined loss per day. And that big loss wiped out over 60% of my account. I essentially blew up. Even though that story was not my biggest loss ever, it was the biggest loss relative to my account. This is an experience I still hold very closely to my heart. And I have a feeling many of you guys probably feel the same way and have experienced the same emotions. And this is the reason I choose not to post regular P&Ls. I'm not saying it's wrong to post profits or losses. It's the same as sharing your tax returns or personal information online. Whether you decide to share your trading performance or not, it's nobody's decision but your own. So that's
Yeah, I totally agree with it. After a while, I probably will be not posting everything I have. Okay. In a sense, I would be splitting out to different bots, then with different small account sizes, and then maybe showing you the one that that I'm just showing on. And then if it gets big, I just push it out. Of course, this is the world of crypto, and of course, the big brother's watching too, right? And like, hey, you want to show the whole world what's going on? I have kids, they're gonna take them out for a ransom, and you don't want that, right? So I'm just gonna kind of do the same. But yeah, I think definitely I'm gonna take her advice on that and not just post my P&L with losses or gains, and just be like, hey, let's just post more insights on what I thought for today, what we learned, maybe some tidbits and tricks that you can use for your trading, maybe stuff I've added into my bot that I can just give you guys, and then you can either use that to systematize or add it to your own, if you know how to program or whatever kind of thing.
Talk about the benefits of posting P&Ls. Some people may find that it keeps them accountable by sharing it to an online social platforms. Maybe it helps you connect with other traders and grow a following. And for many traders who have day trading education programs, big profits would be a great marketing tool that would most likely lead to more sales and revenue. And all of these are fair reasons for posting your trading profits. Like I said, it's a personal decision, and everyone has to weigh the pros and cons themselves.
Yeah, I agree. And whenever I post those bigger sales, when I use a bigger account, like, hey, $1,000 for the day, $900 for the day, I start to see more traffic into my Discord and people clicking on links and, hey, can I get the bot, whatever. And it's true. It does, and it does happen. Now, when we have some down days and like, oh man, like, I don't really, I haven't been marketing that hard because I feel like it's not consistent enough. And of course, from a marketer's point of view, you just market what you have and do what you have best. But then at the same time, it's like, hey, I don't want you guys to lose money if my bot's not up to par. If people see it and they want to support the journey, is what I call it, support the project, you kind of know what you're getting into, that you're just helping this community, this movement to so that we can help bring families home and so they can instill values to their children. That's the support there, knowing that, hey, there's no expectations of, hey, I really need this extra grand or else I can't pay my rent, I need this bot to work, right? I don't think I'm there yet. And so once I get to that point, then I'm like, hey, you know what, cool, I'm going to probably push the marketing button a lot more harder in getting that out there to really help people.
Themselves. But think about this closely. Do you learn more about trading setups and trade planning from charts like these, and perhaps recap videos with commentaries and executions, or a big fat P&L screenshot like this? For me personally, seeing others' P&Ls did not help me learn as a beginner trader. In fact, it had caused me to FOMO, trading on tilt, and blow up my account like the story I had just mentioned. And that was entirely my own fault, by the way. You should never blame your losses on other traders. Whoever clicked the buy and sell button following someone's trade alerts or not, it's entirely responsible for their own outcome.
Yeah, that's very true. I really don't follow any other crypto traders anymore, or they say buy sell here, and I'm like, okay, cool. I even joined the thing, and I'm like, okay, cool. Entered, and I'm like, it's going negative. Oh, it's going negative. I can't handle it. And then all of a sudden, you're like, I mean, they're wrong too sometimes. Then you take that big loss, or you kind of cut it early. You're like, oh man, that sucked. And then he takes off, and you're like, oh good, we're good, okay. I was like, well, what happened? Like, what was the message? Oh yeah, we posted it later. Oh, what the? So yeah, you're responsible for everything. You can't rely on anyone else, and the best thing you do is to trade and learn on your own, and just kind of figure this out. This is the tuition. I mean, there are some basic classes out there, but really it's the experience of being a soldier on the front line. They'll teach you all the stuff for boot camp and this and that, what to expect, but then once you're out there, you're like, okay, don't pick up the teddy bear that's in the middle of the field because there's a lamp. They don't teach you that. Or maybe there's a Shopkin toy or whatever. Like, they don't demonstrate that stuff. Or like certain booby traps, or certain, don't poke your head out twice so you can get shot in the face, or what, stuff like that. I don't know. Just, you probably learned that from playing Call of Duty or whatever, but you kind of know what to expect, and know not how to expose yourself and get shot, and and know how to like tap, don't just full auto and it just shoots all over the place and you're not aiming at your target, right? Seeing things that you learn when you actually play and get punched and take some losses and be comfortable with it and grow.
Since seeing P&L posts did not help me as a beginner trader, and nor is it helping me now 6 years later, I decided not to post them. Actually, my first time sharing it on this YouTube channel was a loss, and then a profit much later on. And of course, somebody would leave a snarky comment that my 5-figure loss was nothing. Then later on, my 4-figure profit while trading remotely in a quarantine hotel was crap. Honestly, I don't know which world I have to live in order to experience a life where 4 or 5 figures of US dollars isn't worth a lot. But do you see what I mean? Posting and seeing P&Ls don't do myself any good. I don't feel any gratification nor fulfillment from praises saying, wow, $6,000, good job. But at the same time, the snarky remarks on both my profits and losses affect me and my trading negatively. Since we're all
Yeah, I was kind of thinking to myself, like, like us, making YouTube videos. After a while, you're like, what? I don't even know what else to make. Like, what other videos to make other than posting my P&L. Like, that's kind of like, active self-protection. He just does reviews of cameras of people getting shot, and he just kind of analyzes and goes through the whole thing. And then he's like, okay. I'm like, wait, that is the same basically idea, right? It's just I have nothing else to post but post this one thing, and then we just do another video of the same thing, another video of the same thing. But it's kind of like that. Maybe I'll do some more videos of this, because I did watch the other video people, and I just put my opinion on it. I can just do it over and over and learn from you and put my insights and thoughts, and kind of get both sides of the story, or more thoughts into it and kind of thing.
all traders here, this risk-reward ratio in the situation just doesn't make sense. In trading, the most precious thing after capital preservation is your mental capital. You could probably tell that I'm an extremely optimistic and positive person most of the time. I do find that having a positive outlook in life overall does make a huge drastic difference in your trading trajectory. Social media could be beneficial, but extremely draining at the same time. Yes, I do understand that if I start making videos with titles and thumbnails like
How I made $5,000 within 5 minutes day trading,
or
make $1,000 a day easy with a strategy,
I could probably get a lot more views, a lot more subscribers, and make a lot more money. But if I do that, I would be sacrificing my mental capital that would affect my own trading performance, and also that would just be betraying who I really am. I am 100% sure that those won't be the kind of video I enjoy making. And I'm just not willing to do them so I can make a few more bucks. This channel you're watching right now has grown the way it has from a little more than 5,000 subscribers a year ago to now over 400,000. And all of this is just from
So that's some insight I'm going to take away on, because she's growing her channel really well from 5,000 to 400,000. So, and that's just from insights and stuff like that. So I think I'll probably do the same. I'll start posting some insights and kind of thoughts what I had throughout the day, maybe certain strategies and tips and whatever that I kind of feel or may help, but not actually, here's a P&L and see you later.
From me standing right here, sharing some of my honest insights, tips, and opinions on day trading. And of course, we cannot forget the bad jokes. Those are the real selling factors here. I'm not a guru, I still have losses in trading, and I'm not 100% right all the time. And I share my charts, executions, and discuss my thought process in all my recap videos. To me personally, and from all the feedback I've received, these recap videos are way more valuable than screenshots of P&Ls. Last but
Yeah, I think it might be a good thing to post some recap videos. I mean, every once in a while, I'll sit and kind of watch the bot do stuff. And you actually start recording that and kind of talk about it and see what it's doing. I actually don't like to sit and watch it too much because I'm like, oh, hopefully I don't intervene on those trades. I'm like, oh my gosh, it's like, negative 10%, and it's only like, whatever, a certain number that I can't handle, right? So I just let it do what it needs to do. Don't intervene. Sometimes it just comes in negative and then comes back out, and then you have, I just look at my trades for the day. I'm like, oh, it's all green, good.
But not least, I'm still single, and having these numbers out there in public eye has and will affect personal relationships, whether you are a man or a woman. If you enjoy this video on the insights of both day trading profits and losses, please remember to drop a like, at the bottom of the video. Thank you guys so much for watching as always. I'm the Humble Trader, and I'll see you guys next week. Okay, I trust that only my loyal followers and the ones who are supportive will watch it to the end over here.
She's gonna show her P&L now. I don't know, but it's kind of cool to show your P&L. It's like, hey, look what I did. At the end of the day, I mean, you're kind of proud of what happened, and you kind of want to share with the world too. But it's just like you bragging. I don't know, but it's just like being a kid again. It's like, hey, look what I did. I drew a built dinosaur.
Here. If you're interested in seeing my July statement, I'll show you right now. If that's not something you care to see, that's totally fine. You can exit the video, and I'll see you next week. So here's my broker website. Going to statement. And right now we're in August. We're going to July here. As you all know, that's the month I was doing my travel trading in Taiwan. And here you go. Hey guys, thanks for watching.
Wow, 60 grand in 1 month, right? So that's pretty impressive. So that's probably like $500,000 in a year if it's consistent. All right, well, thanks for watching. Well, if you'd like to check out Humble Trader, I'm here just to kind of watch the video, go over it with you guys, put my insight. I'll put a link in the video below, and yeah, thanks for posting those videos, Humble Trader, and we'll look forward to some more as we learn from